Welcome back, MySpacers, to another fun From Under the Apron episode of Backdrops and Backlots. I am doing a rewatch of Glow on Netflix, and this is episode 5, which means we are halfway through the end of the season 1. Before I begin with that, the podcast birthday is coming right up. You know, January 2nd. The podcast turns 2 years old, meaning season 3 will be underway. If anyone of the supporters wants to leave a few nice words, just hit me up on the email, send me a voice message on Instagram, or just show up on my stream, and I will give you the information on where you can go. So let's get to it. This episode is Glow, Season 1, Episode 5. The episode is called Devi Does Something. We all know what that alludes to, right? Right, yeah. But nothing or anything in particular of this episode has to do with Dallas, and nothing of that sort of thing happens. Well, with the exception of maybe later that night. I don't want to spoil it for you, but I will tell you when we get to it. This episode's writer was Rachel Schuckert. She is a producer and writer known for The Babysitters Club, Glow, Supergirl, and The Handmaid's Tale. Way to ruin that one. Director is Phil Abraham. He's best known for Most Dangerous Game, Ozark, Mad Men, episodes of Daredevil, and most recently Fubar on Netflix. The synopsis: Sam and Bash strike a deal with a local TV station and sponsor. Meanwhile, as Devi struggles to understand wrestling, Carmen brings her and Melrose to a local wrestling show where Devi discovers its similarities to soap operas. The cold open is on Melanie doing the walk of shame already. Already. She tries to get to the door of her hotel room when Cherry approaches, calling out, "Good morning." She curses, claiming she just got back from the gym for a workout. Cherry notes that she's not really wearing a workout outfit, and Melanie claims it's a new costume element for Glow. She's just trying to break it in. Cherry calls her Rosen, Melrose, Rosen. Yeah, okay. She calls her Rosen and tells her that her bull might work on teachers and cops, but not her. She tells her that she's fired if she breaks curfew again. Melrose asks if they're really still doing the whole Louis Gossett Jr. Richard Gere thing. She notes that she doesn't see Cherry going up anyone else's asshole. Cherry says nobody else is irritating her so much, and Sam put her in charge. She tells her to deal with it, Rosen. Oof. Again. Another shot. And then she leaves. Melrose whispers under her breath and calls her a fucking anti-Semite. The Glow logo appears on the screen. Alright, so the whole Louis Gossett Jr. Richard Gere thing is a nod to the movie An Officer and a Gentleman, which came out in 1982. I know you new people are not going to understand that, but you need to watch this movie. Gere plays Zach Mayo, a young man who has signed up for Navy Aviation Officer candidate school. He's a Navy brat who has a bad attitude problem. Gossett Jr. plays Gunnery Sergeant Emil Foley, and he is dare to train and evaluate him, and will clearly find Zach wanting to quit. Melrose is alluding to Cherry acting like a drill sergeant over this, remembering what Mondo Guerrero has said, that he put them all in line, and one of them didn't listen, so they are possibly referring to this. It might have been Melody, Trouble Vixen, or MTV, since she's the one that's closer to what Melrose is being a subject to. On August 16, 2017, the Huffington Post posted a Q&A with Jackie Tone, who plays Melrose, and said, "I think, truthfully, Melrose is a party girl, and she likes to do drugs and likes to drink. But I think she's like a lot of people, overcompensating for insecurities by trying to fill voids in her life with fun and partying. She is fun as hell, but I think there's a little bit of overcompensation going on in there. She says, I do relate to my character, but I think I am this person who is loud with a big personality who is out there, and I can be brassy and I can have a dirty mouth. And all these things about me that are also Melrose. There are things about her that I would never do, like fake a miscarriage with ketchup. And I'm not a drug dealer or a cigarette smoker. There are a lot of things that we don't have in common, but there are also a lot of things we do. End quote. Next scene. Carmen and Ruth practice moves in the ring. A scoop up slam, followed by Carmen dragging Ruth across the ring by her hair. Carmen hits a regular suplex on Ruth and she oversells it. Devi asks when they learn that move, and Melrose says that they didn't. But you know how nerds are, they try harder. Bash introduces Devi to Glenn Klitnick, calling her their star. Glenn is an executive at KDTV and is the man who is making all their dreams come true. He is played by Andrew Friedman. He has one of those, I don't know the name, but I recognize the face somewhere. You know, that type of actor. He's also a writer. He was known for Better Call Saul, obviously Glow, Live Free or Die Hard, and plays Charlie's Uncle Jack in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Sam says that he may not know her as Laura Morgan from Paradise Cove, but he says he's not really a soap opera guy, though his wife is. She goes crazy over All My Children. So Paradise Cove, I looked it up. It's not a real thing. It was never a real soap opera. All My Children was a real soap opera. So All My Children was out in the 80s. Paradise Cove is only for this show right here. He asked if she's ever done anything there, but she explains that they film in New York, but she's always been based in LA. Bash suggests she show him what she's been working on. She shows him some moves and then explains her character, Liberty Bell, an all American hero. She's kind of a role model for kids, and she could then say something like, be all that you can be, and say nope to dope. The latter, which makes her cringe, she does like that. Say nope to dope. Ugh. She says she's a mother and knows how important to be patriotic, so she's still working on it. He says he looks forward to seeing it when it's done. Bash chuckles and awkwardly takes Glenn somewhere else. Sam pats Devi on her shoulder, like, good job, good job. You did such a job, well done. You can stop being anxious now. You did a good job. Sam tells Glenn that the program is deep, that the women are going to be wrestling with their stereotypes. He thinks it'll really resonate with female audiences. Guys will watch because girls wrestling is hot. Bash points out that Glenn is in charge of Saturday morning children's programming at KDTV, hot and family friendly, adds Sam. Porn you can watch with your kids. Finally. Yikes. Glenn stares for a moment and then chuckles. He says it's all very strong, a strong concept and a strong time slot. He says they can make something special if they find the right sponsor. This confuses Sam, who thought Bash was supposed to be the sponsor. Bash says he's the producer, not the sponsor. The sponsor pays for airtime. Bash asks Glenn how they're doing with that, and he says they have a great lead. A local business named Patio Town. Sam asks if he means bird bath, and he agrees that they sell bird bath, furniture, custom fire pits, and more. The number two purveyor of indoor-outdoor lifestyle furniture in Southern California. He says they're having a grand opening of a new location that Friday and would be a great opportunity for a meet and greet. He suggests that they bring a couple of the girls, including the zippy Ruth girl, to nail this puppy down. Bash says they're gonna nail this puppy down. It'll think it's being crucified. Yikes! Another cringe moment. It results in an awkward laugh, but still very cringy. Whoa there, bud. Um, Devi practices rapping in front of a mirror, saying that she's Liberty Bell, the perfect American hero. She's a perfect 10 and you're a 0. Yes, she pointed at the mirror herself. She had to. There was no beat to her behind us any at all. She just went ahead and went for it. The 80s and those lyrics. This is actually a nod to how the original Glow Girls would start or end the show with a rap, who they are and what their gimmicks are and who they were beefing with. It was fun at first. Then it just got like no, obnoxious. She raps, "I'm American as apple pie, and if you're not, I'll make you die." Cringe. She spins around and jumps on the bed to do an elbow drop. She asks Randy what he thinks and naturally gets no response. Later, she sits at a cafe with her father and mother, who tells her that she never thought her husband, Mark, was right for her anyway. Mom is being played by Lisa Ann Walter, who plays Melissa Schimenti on Abbott Elementary, and Dad is being played by Alan Havey, who plays Carl Allard on the show Billions. Debbie tells her it's not the time, but she continues that she always thought he was very controlling. Debbie asks her to not put her in the position of having to defend the man she just left. Mom says that she's just worried about her, that she's always been so independent, and now she's sitting around in Pasadena with a new belt for every outfit, waiting for him to come home. She replies that she made the choice to stop working, that she wanted to be there for her child. Her mom replies that it's nice she had that choice. She says she didn't mean anything by it, and her mother says she knows. Her father suggests that maybe they'll get back together. Her mother tells him to have another piece of bacon, dear. Stop talking. Debbie asks that they just babysit Randy on the weekdays during rehearsals, that Mark has him on the weekends. Just then, Ruth enters the cafe. Debbie's parents greet her warmly, not being aware of what happened. Oh my gosh, awkward. Oh no. Debbie says they're working together and they say it's fabulous, inviting her to have a seat. No, don't do that. No. Ruth says she would love to stay, but she only came to check the time and she has to run to rehearsal. What a great lie there, but she says it was nice to see them and leaves. Debbie says she has to go too, pointing out a few things for Randy's care. Her mother assures her everything is under control and tells her to go ahead.
Hi, everyone. This is JJ, the co-founder of Good Pods. If you haven't heard of it yet, Good Pods is like Goodreads or Instagram, but for podcasts. It's new, it's social, it's different, and it's growing really fast. There are more than 2 million podcasts, and we know that it is impossible to figure out what to listen to. On Good Pods, you follow your friends and podcasters to see what they like. That is the #1 way to discover new shows and episodes. You can find Good Pods on the web or download the app. Happy listening.
Hi everyone, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Dawn.
And if you've ever watched a TV show and thought to yourself, oh my god, that season finale plot twist was absolutely bonkers.
Or seen a movie and thought, wow, I need to talk to somebody about this train wreck immediately.
Then we think you'll fit right in with our podcast, I Hate It, Let's Watch It. We watch TV shows like Riverdale and Emily in Paris.
And movies like Deep Water, Killer Sofa, Rubber, and Deadly Illusions. And we give them the total rinsing they deserve.
It's basically group therapy for movie masochists. So come check us out wherever you stream podcasts.
Next scene, Keith gets a phone call. He's in bed. Cherry's trying to use the bathroom shower. He's in bed. He gets a phone call. The voice on the other end asks, "Where's the beef?" Saying that they've been wondering exactly where he puts his beef. He says, "What the fuck?" He hears laughter on the other end and they hang up. A nod to the old Wendy's commercial where the old lady's asking where's the meat on the cheeseburger. Where's the beef? Afterwards, Sheila, who gets a call this time with the woman saying she's from Hellman's Mayonnaise and asking her if she can take a survey. Hellman's Mayonnaise? Really? Mailman, Hellman, Venom. Sheila agrees, saying she always has time for condiments. Ruth comes out of the shower drying her hair, confused, listening to Sheila say personal lubricant. She realizes what is happening and hangs up the phone. In their room, Dawn and Stacy laugh it up while smoking weed. Don and Stacy, respectively played by Rebecca Johnson and Kimmy Gatewood, have been doing comedy. They've been comedy partners for more than 10 years now. They got called in together to audition for Glow. Christine Jackson published an article on Gatewood on the Washingtonian on July 11th, 2017. Gatewood says that they were both fans of Glow, the original Glow. I remember watching it as a kid because there was sketch comedy in it. I became a sketch comedian years later, but I didn't realize the impact it would have seeing women do sketch comedy in spandex, but nevertheless, sketch comedy. When we found out we got the call, we didn't know what to expect, but we went in together and we had about a page and a half of dialogue. And then we improvised some characters afterwards. When they called us back, they didn't give us a script at all. They just said to come up with a tag team character. So we came up with five and then went into the audition and basically did a miniature show for them. Then they asked us some questions about how we knew each other and were interested in our real life best friendship. We started wrestling the Monday after that. When asked if both Gatewood and Johnson were anything like Donna and Stacy in real life, she said the similarities are we're game for anything, and we are happy to make fools of ourselves at any given moment. The difference is, I think we might be a little bit smarter than Stacy and Don, who aren't the sharpest tools in the shed and will throw themselves against the wall, or get duped into doing controversial matches at any point. They're the kind of girls you'd find on the Sunset Strip in the 80s, the heavy metal girls. They would try to sleep with the band members, but could probably score with the bouncer. I like to think of us as the kind of Statler and Waldorf of Glow. You're just kind of off to the side, going yuck, 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 yuck. And also, we also look like Muppets. Ruth meets with the hotel manager saying that she and Sheila are having some trouble with their TV. He says that it's not his problem, and she points out that there are guests there. He says that the sign says free TV, not free TVs. If she doesn't like it, she can go to the room of another prostitute. Ruth is taken aback. Excuse me, what? The audacity of this man? He picks up a phone saying it's wrong number. He comments on something on the television saying that it's Soviet Union television watches you. She asks if it's a joke and he tells her to leave. She does, but continues to stand behind the counter watching his demeanor and how he talks. Don and Stacy smoke a bong and Stacy makes another call, this time to Melrose. She says she's Lisa from Dr. Goldberg's office for Melanie Danielle Rosen with her test results. She has AIDS in her butt. Melrose says that she was just in her friend Dawn and Stacy's room and she just started bleeding out of her butt. The only way she could make it stop was by shoving both of her toothbrushes into her ass. She runs out of the room shouting at them to get a life, you hags. I love that shit. Hags. Shit, like, old hags. That would have been great. That would have been great. Old hags. I love that word. Jackie Tone on the Huffington Post article. I've been acting since I was 10. I did a lot of stuff when I was a little kid in commercials. I was on The Nanny and a bunch of different stuff like that. In my 20s, I have been acting for so long. Funny enough that I've been making music as well. I wanted to just try something else, and so I tried out for American Idol, and that was super exciting. When I was 30, I was like, I think I love making music, and it's absolutely a passion of mine. But I think performing, acting, comedy, and being an actor has always been the dream, and the music, as much as I love it, was a left turn in the middle, and then I came back to acting. Melrose asks how everyone knows her real name. Jenny murmurs that she doesn't know and she asks what she's doing. She says that it's her hair and she asks for who. She says it's for her own self-esteem. Melrose says she can't look at any of them anymore. Hey, you need good mental health? You know, back then it was bad. You need to look good for yourself, I guess. Like, hey, my own mental health, self-esteem. Jenny says they could go out, but they have to be back by 10. There's another call, and Melrose starts cussing out the caller, calling them cunts, but it's Justine. She asks if she'll split a pizza, and Melrose asks why she keeps ordering pizza. Ooh, girl, you're about to find out. 80 slow motion montage with Head Over Heels by Tears for Fears playing as the pizza delivery boy arrives with the pizza, of course. And it becomes clear why. This kid had this Jake Ryan from 16 Candles look, like had the entire freaking, how would you call it, the smothering look on his way with the freaking pizza in his hand. He does a 60-second slow motion walk from the car to Justine's door. So I just ended up singing the lyrics. You know, something happens and I'm head over heels. I don't know the fucking song. And I don't want to play it. I don't want to get in trouble. Justine greets him and he knows that she got black olives. She says she likes the color black, just like her soul. Cringe. Artie, who is in the background reading a book, cringes as she turns around. Like, what did she just say? Did she just say that? He tells her it'll be $11. Even. And she gives him the money. He says he'll see her around and leaves. She closes the door and groans, saying that he must think that she's a total poser for saying that she likes the color black. She asks Artie why she can't even talk to him, knowing that she can't even order for him more pizza because she's out of cash until next Friday. Artie says it's a good thing he wrote his number on the box. Justine reads it. Billy Olfo, 818-238-5564. Don't call that number, please. I urge you not to call that number. Okay? 818-238-5564. Don't call it. Justine asks if this means he actually wants her to call. Artie stares at her. Yeah. Billy, played by Casey Johnson, will be back in 7 more episodes. His other body of work includes the show Rise in 2018, the movie A Killer Walk Amongst Us, and most recently in 2022 for 19 episodes he played Danny Stevens on the show For All Mankind. Again, don't call the 818 number. It's the number for Burbank, California. Anyway, the girls train at the gym. Sam interrupts Ruth, asking if she wants to take a field trip. Debbie turns to Carmen, saying that all the extra work paid off for Ruth. Carmen tells her that if she wants to talk, she can squat, tossing her a ball. She says that Carmen has been helping her and they're both good, while she still sucks. Carmen tells her that Ruth takes it seriously. Debbie replies that she's taking it as seriously as she can. She's working out. She had a baby 6 months ago and her hips are still in the wrong place. Every time Cherry makes them jump rope, she leaks a little. She has issues. Whoa there. But she's there. Carmen says that her problem is that she thinks wrestling is stupid. Debbie says it is, isn't it? Carmen tells her that she prefers exaggerated. That's the point. Her brother once had a promoter who set up with a guy that wrestled a snake. The day of the match, the snake died, so he put on a sock puppet and her brother wrestled it like it was real. It brought the house down. She asked if Debbie'd never been to a real wrestling match. Debbie stands there quietly. Ruth, Rhonda, and Sam arrive at a new furniture store.
Movies and feelings. Pop, pop. Bring Your Own Popcorn is a podcast that dives into people and the movies who love them. Let us preach to your choir or stoke your ire as we spiral down memory lane with cult classics, Jurassics, and other genres that rhyme with traffic. What we lack in education, we make up for with comedy, compassion, and camaraderie. I'm your host, Mixtape Majesty, inviting you to join me and an assortment of wonderful guests on fine podcast apps everywhere. Bring your own popcorn.
Hey, welcome to the Sweet Life Pod, the show where we create special moments with special people. I'm your host, Sakari Masters. In the Sweet Life Pod, we'll be discussing individuality, peace of mind, and how to attain and uphold meaningful relationships. If this sounds fitting, then follow the Sweet Life Pod on Spotify now. Thank you.
Ruth, Rhonda and Sam arrive at the new furniture store, Ruth asks if they're doing a demo because she has an idea for a new character. Sam tells her to do no demos and no talking. It's the formalities. They're window dressing. Bash introduces them to the CEO, Patrick O'Town. Sam realizes it's a pun. Patio Town. Patio. Patio Town. Patio Town. Oh, we get it. Alright. Punny. Patrick says that their name is their destiny, and Sam agrees that he often wonders what his life would be like if his name was Francis Ford Coppola. Oh, favorite director. Patrick is played by Andy Umberger. Umberger? Humber. You know what? He's right. Your name is your destiny. Andy Umberger, a stage actor and has appeared in 3 Broadway shows, City of Angels, Passion, and Company. He's also appeared on soaps like The Young and the Restless and been on shows like Mad Men, Desperate Housewives, Boston Legal, but he is best known as the demon D'Hoffryn on the hit TV show Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He's the demon that gives Anya her revenge demon powers, basically. If you want to go back to probably season 3, around there, I don't know. Forgot where he was introduced. Definitely see the last season. He's in mostly in the last season because he's heavily in the last season. Check him out on Buffy. Bash asks if he would like to see Patio Town plastered across 14 of the most gorgeous women in wrestling. He says he gets it, but it won't help him solve lawn chairs. Bash says he doesn't understand, that he was recommended by Glenn. Patrick calls Glenn a golf buddy who owed a favor. Bash asks that he give them a second to show them what they're about. He says it's a family business and their customer's a nice urban mom. He tells them to enjoy the refreshments and leaves. Bash begs Sam to help. Sam tells Patrick that he might be selling barbecues to moms, but he sees a lot of guys there too. They're guys whose lives aren't working out the way they thought and wondering how many more sundials their wives are going to show them before their dicks fall off. He asks Rhonda to show him what he means as she takes off her vest. Chin up, hands on her hips, chest out, and don't forget the shoe. I'm kidding, there's no shoe. But shout out to Tony Storm for that one. Patrick seems sold. He has Rhonda join him for the ribbon cutting. Nobody cheers for it, and then Ruth appears, speaking in a Russian accent and shouting, "Niet! Niet!" She says that Patio Town is disgusting. Capitalism at its worst. Oh shit, that is a horrible ass freaking Russian accent. Sorry about that. I didn't say niet, niet. Patio Town is disgusting. Capitalism at its worst. Beth starts to ask Sam if they should stop her, but Sam lets it go on. Ruth says that there's one store and 50 different types of chair. In Soviet Union, they have one chair and they take turns to sit in him. What? In him? That's what she said. If you miss it, too bad. You sit on the floor for the rest of the year. It's the greatness of communism. She stands there, taking it all in. Sam boos her like a plant. And soon everyone is booing. She smiles at Sam. She says she knows why they boo because it's Patio Town. You never stand in line. In the Soviet Union, a line is like a cocktail party. That's a horrible Soviet Union accent. The only conversation you can get where the KGB won't hear you. I fucked that one up. Everyone chuckles and Patrick cuts the ribbon. Sam smiles at Ruth and nods. Oh, God. Can I do a do-up? No. We're live, pal. And that right there was Colonel Ninotchka, played by Laurelyn Palmer in the original Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. Unfortunately, she wasn't at the reunion documentary, and I couldn't find a reason as to why she couldn't be there online. On August 8, 2019, though, Palmer appeared on the Review Journal and was interviewed by Christopher Lawrence. He writes, Palmer skipped the reunions of her former colleagues, although she's now actively looking to see some of them again. She says, I never went to college. They're like my sorority sisters. Palmer only recently started feeling good about her time with Glow, and some of those warm feelings stem from the Netflix series. I watched some interviews before it came out, and Alison Brie had mentioned she had watched my tapes. It was just this huge compliment. Seeing some of her efforts dramatized on a critically acclaimed series, no matter how loosely inspired it is by the real women, helped with Palmer's change of heart. You feel appreciated, you feel like, oh my gosh, it mattered what we did, she says. Now it's wonderful to be like, oh man, I was part of that. You sure were. You sure were. Next scene. Melrose pounds a malfunctioning Coke machine and shouts, fuck my mother and her fucking cunt. I'm thirsty. I don't know how I'm still have a podcast with these words. Carmen and Debbie stare as she asks what they're looking at. She says it's cute that they're going out together, telling that the cherry will be on them if they're not back by curfew. She asks if she can come, then races after them. Carmen has taken Debbie to her first ever real life live wrestling match, getting some good seats. Carmen says she knows people. The announcer gets the crowd riled up, including Carmen and Melrose. The announcer gets the crowd riled up, including Carmen and Melrose, but Debbie seems less than enthused. Sam, Rhonda, and Ruth are in the car after the ribbon cutting, having dinner in the car of Foster's Freeze. Ruth is still very much in character. She says that in Soviet Union they must pay 1 month's salary for this quality cat. Sam laughs as she continues. They have Foster's Freeze too. They call it ice cream gulag. There, you go in. It's so cold, you die. Rhonda's not amused. Sam says that he likes her like this more than he usually does. Ruth says that this is because he's a weak American, and she would destroy all the Hijos. Sam says that Russians are the best villains since the Nazis, and it's just too bad she can't do it for real. She asks in her normal voice why she can't. He says that if she's Russian, she has to fight the all-American hero, and Debbie's not talking to her. Ruth says he never knows, that she could change her mind. She goes back into character, saying it's like an old Russian saying, a fisherman cannot kill a chicken till there are no more fish in the sea. I am butchering this fucking accent. Oh, I need to work on it. Maybe for the next episode, I need to start watching more Russian people talk. I am sorry, guys. I really am. Rhonda clears her throat, saying she needs to pee. Sam tells her to go, and she asks if he wants to come with her. Say, what? He doesn't understand, and she leaves, slamming the door. Ruth gets him to admit that he's having sex with her, and he points out that she has sex with Mark. She knows that he wasn't his boss. Right, says Sam. He was your best friend's husband. Then apologizes for being defensive. He says that he has a flaw in his conflict style according to his ex-wife cognitive behavior therapist. He asked her why she did it, and she asked him why anyone makes a stupid, horrible mistake. He says that for him, it's usually because he's high or drunk or that someone has done something to make him feel so small and insecure that he has to remind himself he exists. She asked him what kind of person she does seem like, and he says she's an okay person. Rhonda gets back in the car and tells Ruth that she and Sam are shagging. Ruth smirks a bit and hides it. Sam sighs and starts the car.
In a world where true crime meets the supernatural and the unexplained,
where true crime and chills go hand in hand.
Welcome to Total Conundrum, the podcast that explores the dark, the eerie, and the downright mysterious.
Join us as we embark on a spine-tingling journey through the mysteries that keep you up at night.
We're diving deep into true crime stories, uncovering the most baffling cases, and exploring the twisted minds behind them.
But we don't stop there. We're also exploring the paranormal, from haunted houses to cryptids and all the creepy things that go bump in the night. Get ready for some supernatural thrills.
And what sets us apart? Prepare for a dose of dark humor as we navigate through the creepy and bizarre.
We've got it all. Bone-chilling tales, banter, and mind-boggling conundrums. You won't know whether to scream or laugh.
So grab your favorite snack, turn down the lights, and join us for a roller coaster ride of true crime and the supernatural, sprinkled with a bit of comic banter.
Stay curious, stay captivated, and let's dive into the world of Total Conundrum.
Now available on your favorite podcast platform. Get ready to be captivated, creeped out, and cracked up with Total Conundrum.
Back at the match, all three girls are watching Frankie Kazarian against Christopher Daniels. Both have had careers for more than 20 years and are best known for being multiple-time champions in TNA and AEW. Carmen urges Debbie to watch what is coming up. She says it's the moonsault, one of the hardest moves in wrestling. Daniels hit the best moonsault ever, his finishing move, with ease, and Melrose is shocked by how dangerous it looks. Just flip backwards. So Daniels, who's wearing his Curryman persona wrestling gear, is declared the winner, and Debbie says that they should get going, that she should check on the baby before her mother gets to sleep. Carmen says that they should just see one more match, that one of her all-time favorite guys is up next. Debbie agrees, but gets up to get some tequila. Back at the hotel, Justine frets over Billy, wondering if he even knows her name. She's worried that she'll call him only for him to not even know who she is. Artie tells her that he definitely knows her name. Justine thinks that maybe he's mad because he's been expecting her to call. She worries he might hang up on her, or she might have to talk with his mom. Who knows? There's a knock at the door, and she comments that he probably already has a girlfriend. Some cool punk girl who's in a band who knows how to give a blowjob without choking. She opens the door and it's Billy, who is standing there amused. She says she didn't order any pizza, and Artie says that she did. She says that she's going to study and will be back in 45 minutes. Try not to choke on anything. She gives Billy the money, thanks him, and leaves with the pizza. Justine apologizes for not calling. He tells her it's okay. They kiss passionately, leaving them in the room by themselves. Back at the ring, Carmen says that the wrestler they're seeing next is called Steel Horse, a working class hero. He comes out on a motorcycle and then poses on top of the turnbuckle. Melrose says her vagina just swallowed herself. Oh my god. Steel Horse is played by another former WWE wrestler, Alex Riley. Or again, another person that's unrecognizable because we couldn't recognize Carlito at first. Riley has bulked up a bit. He bulked up a lot. Riley spoke with Jim Barcelone from the Miami Herald about how he beat The Miz and Chris Jericho for this particular role, who auditioned in character with a bathrobe and full costume, which is what the producers were looking for. He says, I try to stay humble in that space, but I did do that. Yep. Which was interesting to me. I just gotten let go from the WWE, and then I ended up there. I was just like, okay, it was kind of nice. Okay, I guess it was pretty good. But yeah, it was pretty interesting. Yep, that's the truth.
I was there for 3 days total. They had signed me for a week, and I was there for 3 days. But the only day that I was doing anything on camera was the third day, so one day. The other 2 days, I kind of the one day I showed up just on my own to try to get a feel for things, to watch the way they did television, to get a feel for the director and the producers, and meet people, get in front of Chavo, who was there working the girls out and teaching them to become professional wrestlers, which was fantastic to see him. I didn't expect to see him. So there was a bunch of friendly faces there, I say this all the time. It was the perfect transition into the acting world, because I did have a couple friends that were on the set, and it was a show that was kind of about wrestling. So something that I knew on that end, and then I had to pick up very quickly all of the other things, the small nuances of acting and all that stuff, which was just a ton of fun.
His opponent is wearing a sparkly green robe with dollar signs. Mr. Monopoly, the heel, played by indie wrestler Joey Ryan. No comment. Mr. Monopoly is an homage or a parody, depending on how you look at it, to wrestling legend, the Million Dollar Man. You ever heard the Million Dollar Man laugh? I have. He laughed right in front of my face. I asked him to. One of my favorite memories. That was when I was trying to meet Mick Foley. I think I said this in this one of the episodes. Trying to meet Mick Foley. I was in line. Obviously, Million Dollar Man and Virgil are standing next to each other, and it was his line. So, you know, in order to get Virgil's, nobody went to go get Virgil's autograph. Let's be honest. They all wanted the Million Dollar Man's autograph. But at the same time, he's there, and he's asking, "Don't you want my autograph?" And I'm just like, "I have a picture with you giving me the Million Dollar Dream. Can I bring it in and sign it?" Million Dollar Man. Everything there. Yeah, what did he say? Everyone has a price for the Million Dollar Man. He does his laugh. Ha 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 ha. Evil laughter. I go ahead and meet Mick Foley. Fuck you guys. uh, Carmen explains it's a grudge match, and every match is like another chapter. It all started when Mr. Monopoly closed down the factory in Steel Horse's town, and they all lost their jobs. Then he kidnapped Crystal, Steel Horse's woman, and brainwashed her to believe that he's evil. Crystal is played by indie wrestler Laura James. In February 2016, James got engaged to her boyfriend Joey Ryan, who proposed to her during their intergender match at Finest City Wrestling in San Diego. James said yes. In the middle of the match, in the middle of him beating her ass, or her beating his ass, James said yes. He proposed, got down on his knees, proposed, she said yes, and after he put the ring on her hand, he rolls her up, Joey Ryan rolls her up, and wins the match. But she still has that ring. Hey. The video clip of the proposal went viral, and the couple made appearances on various news outlets, including a feature on ESPN Sports Center. The couple married in November of 2016. That is so cute. Wasn't like the best memory ever. Going viral for doing that. Oh my god, wrestling is fucking awesome. In October 2018, the two separated. Not so much. With James filing for divorce from Ryan in June 2019, citing irreconcilable differences. Carmen continues and says, despite this, he still loves her and tries to win her back. They're actually half brothers. You can see Steel Horse calling out for Crystal to come back to him, reaching out for her, come here, getting on his knees to tell her he is there for her. Crystal reaches out to him. She's reaching out her fingers towards him. But Mr. Monopoly, who is like so concerned with being loved and showing off, finally turns around, looks at what's happening, and he yells at Crystal, "Stay right there! Stay right there! Don't touch! Don't!" No. He pushes her on the face, throws her up against the corner turnbuckle. And what they're trying to imply here, Crystal's an homage to wrestling legend Miss Elizabeth, who was the valet to Oh, yeah, Macho Man Randy Savage, funky like a monkey, yeah, dig it. Debbie fills in the rest. It was Mr. Monopoly's plan all along to get revenge on the father who abandoned him. Carmen and Melrose look at each other as if to say, Debbie finally got it. Debbie yells, this whole thing is a soap opera. I understand how to do that. She is now fully engaged. She gets it. She stands up and cheers, trying to woo. Debbie and Betty Gilpin need to work. Debbie or Betty Gilpin, I'm sorry. Debbie or Betty, they're the same person. But Somehow the actress needs to work on her excited woo, sounding like an eagle screeching down to grab a fish. Woo! 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 Oh my god. That was horrible. That was a horrible screech. After the match, they go backstage and meet with Dale, who plays Steel Horse, of course. Of course, of course. Carmen introduces herself as Tom and Kurt's little sister. She says he was amazing, introduces Melrose and Debbie. He recognizes her as Laura Morgan from Paradise Cove, saying he's a huge fan. The Paradise Cove, again, is fake. He tells her that they get all the best ideas from soap operas. He tells her that the new Laura can't act for shit. She laughs happily. Oh yeah, she laughs. Like, y'all fucked up. Later on, they're inside his room and Steelhorse is talking to Debbie, telling her that she sells it, that he sells it. But Mr. Monopoly, the bad guy, is the real craftsman. The heel makes the face, making him look good for years. Uh, Whoever is new around here, I hope you understand what I just said. The heel is the bad guy, the face is the good guy. That's how we talk in the wrestling business. Heel is a bad guy, face is a good guy. So the bad guy makes the good guy, making him look good for years. She says he's a good friend, but he tells her that you don't have to be friends to wrestle. It's an unspoken language. They just look at each other and they know what's going down. It's a partnership. They don't like each other, but they make each other better. So long as there's something there that's real, it hits you right in the heart. Melrose tells Debbie that it's getting late, and Dale says that it's okay, that she probably needs to get home to her husband or boyfriend. She tells him she recently separated. Melrose begs her to not make her be the rules person. Please don't make me be the rules person. Don't make me be the mom. She's not emotionally equipped for it. Debbie rummages through her purse, tells her to take her car and she'll take a cab. She says she'll deal with Cherry. Dale says he feels bad for her husband. She says she doesn't give a shit and kisses him. Next scene is 5 in the morning. Cherry's already up. She's determined to have some hot water for her shower. Keith tells her to go ahead. She goes out and discovers Debbie doing the walk of shame and fumbling in her purse to find her keys. She gave it to Melrose. She gave the car keys to Melrose. The keys to the hotel are in on the keychain, right? Is that how it goes? Is that how it works? Is that how it worked in the 80s? There was like a key instead of a key card? Huh. Debbie tells her she had an emergency. She takes a cigarette from Debbie, saying that Keith thinks she quit. She asks her if Steelhorse lived up to the name. She says that Melrose told her, and she told her in return what they do to rats where she comes from. Something about this, I at first thought, my first reaction to when she said, like, they do what they do to rats, rats in the wrestling business is like a fan. What is it like? Uh, like a fan to where rock stars. Somebody help me out? No. Um. So when she says rat, I thought you know what they do to rats. Like, oh shit, you know. But she really is saying, um, snitches get stitches over here, so don't ever rat someone out. She then notes that she didn't answer her question. Debbie says that it was good and exciting, but also weird. You're with someone for a long time, and you think about all the guys you got to sleep with if he disappeared. Then he does, and you do, and you remember how much easier it is when you both know each other. Cherry says it sounds like the horse was less than steely, and Debbie disagrees, saying that the horse was exhaustingly steely. She's now dreading having to pee and needs to get some sleep. She gives Cherry the rest of the cigarette, telling her to enjoy, but Cherry tells her she's not getting off that easily. They have a 5K uphill run together. Debbie tells her to give her 5 minutes to wash her face and drain her tits, and Cherry says she has until she's done with the cigarette. Debbie groans as she walks inside her room. A couple hours later, Sam is laying in bed when his phone rings. He puts it up, telling Dawn enough with the fucking crank calls. Don's been doing the crank calls the entire night. Good for you, Don. It's actually Debbie, though. He asked her what's going on, and she says she's been thinking about the show. She says she's all in, but if he wants her to be the star, she needs a great heel. She tells him to find her one, and he smiles. Oh, he knows. He knows who to get. She hangs up the phone and walks over to look at herself in the mirror, which was after the 5K run. She's glistening, fucking sweat all over her face, all over her body, all over her chest. The show ends to Rock You Like a Hurricane by the Scorpions playing the credits. Sam already knows what we're doing here. Debbie versus Ruth is happening. Last episode, they were at opposite ends of the pool. This episode, next few episodes, they're gonna fight. They're gonna fight. Oh, what a great episode! It ended. It's done. But it's a great episode. I love how it starts and ends with Cherry waking up super early to go for a run, but runs into possibly some of the girls doing the walk of shame, who've obviously enjoyed a night of debauchery. So she has to be like, oh, hey, what do you think you're doing? Huh? Huh? Oh, doing the walk of shame, huh? Okay. That's nice. All right, now you get to go run and a 5K uphill with me. Let's go. Um, I'm gonna say this was a very Devi centric episode. I know I said it in the intro about Devi does something, and she sure did. So let's change the name of the episode to Devi Rises Steely, or Devi Does Steely. Who knows? I love that Devi got a bit of a focus from the start and had that, oh shit, I get it now moment. It's kind of like us wrestling fans when we finally realize that the stories are fire. Like, freaking, what's his name? Roman Reigns, still champion, still the freaking storyline that he's in. The LWO, the thing with the everybody, all right now, what's going on right now? That's what the stories are all about. But for her, it was more like here for the check and the recognition. And once she realized it was like exactly like soap operas, telenovelas, all that stuff, her fandom changed, her opinion of it changed, and she knew exactly what to do next. I love that Ruth saved the day at the last second. She pulled the Soviet Union character from talking to the. Oh my God, no, no. One more time. She pulled that Soviet Union character from talking to the hotel staff, and she figured, why not? Ha 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 ha. Better? No? I need to work on it. So now that Ruth found her real heel persona, the bad girl, something she can play around with, she will have to go against Devi and her Lady Liberty gimmick. USA versus the Soviet. Yes. In the 80s. Oh my God, it's going to turn into something. Betty Gilpin, Betty Devi, was asked by Zara Bolos of the HuffPost what the scariest move she had to do. Devi says probably the first time I just did a front three-quarter flip. One of the first things we learned was don't tuck or you're fucked. If you don't tuck your chin, you will break your neck. So there are many moves when you're flipping over and you're not quite sure how far from the floor you are. And those first couple moves, you're like, is my neck about to break? But the crossbody smash when I jumped from the ropes onto Allison Brie, that was pretty scary the first couple times I did it too. Oh, the intro when and the first episode when they did the whole thing. Yeah, that was it, right? I don't recall. She was also asked what her perception of wrestling was before hearing about Glow. She says, my original perception of Glow was not a very positive one. I didn't understand it at all, and I thought it was kind of silly and ridiculous. But as I got to know it, it was sort of like how people used to talk about musicals to me when I was younger. I loved musicals because I felt like breaking out in song makes so much sense to me because it's the stakes of how you feel inside. Sometimes daily life doesn't match the high stakes that you feel, and I feel like that is wrestling. Wrestling actually makes sense to me. It's the story driven, it's character driven. Sometimes the way that you feel is screaming to the mezzanine. It's not quietly discussing someone. So once I realized how character and story driven wrestling was, I was fully on board. Great job. That's awesome. That's good to hear, Betty. And that's it from me in this episode. I I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much. I'm still watching these episodes up until the very end. We're still gonna do some more episodes. We're still gonna look for behind the scenes stuff. We're still gonna look for interviews. I'm still gonna do it. So that's it. As always, follow us on our socials to support us. From Under the Apron on Instagram, the Threads, YouTube, apron_stories on the Twitter. More info on the links where we can listen or watch in the show notes. Listen to us on Apple, Spotify, or any other audio media you can listen to podcasts on. And because y'all asked for it, guess what? Guess what? We have a thing. We have a little crazy little thing called merch.
We've got some merch. Go buy our merch. We've got some merch. Go buy our merch.
Fellow podcast supporters, you are in for a great deal. A friend of the podcast that goes by the name The Big Friendly Giant helped. He helped. He came through. He said he was fidgeting with the logo and he made a new shirt which will be available on Black Friday. Whenever you're listening to this, go for it. Go check it out right now. If you're listening to this now, go check it out. It'll be there. I can't wait to show it to you. In the meantime, I have 2 awesome designs up right now. I'm going to have 3 right now. Let's go. Phase 3 of the podcast logo, Phase 4 of the fatherless behavior logo, and now Phase 5 from the Big Friendly Giant himself. The Big Friendly Giant logo. His logo. We're going to call it the Big Friendly Giant logo, okay? Phase 5 for Big Friendly Giant logo. I hope he listens. Wear them and display them just in time for the holidays with your family get together and show them how you really feel. And if they say they like the shirt, buy them as a gift for Christmas. Linktree will be in the show notes. Don't forget to rate us and leave us a review. And if you feel want a little bit more, go to patreon.com/From the Apron Podcast. Support us on the Patreon. Become a top tier patron and get patron privileges. Or come onto the stream. Show us out. Show yourself out. Let us know who you are. Support us here. And I will shout you out at the end of every episode. Kinda and sorta, mostly like Babel B, Meta Smiling, Damien H from the Life of a 30-Year-Old podcast, Chanel from the Nerds in Texas podcast, Cloudy November from the No It's a Sentence podcast, I Beloved Sigh from the Sweet Life pod. I'll have the links to these podcasts in the show notes so you can check them out. They're fucking amazing. Listen to them. I also want to give out a shout out to Dark Fate Creations, my favorite scented candles. Y'all should check out the candles. Darkfatecreations.com. Definitely. Mini Mommy Dancer, OMG is Ren, Hannah Time, Messenger of Stupidity, Cone of Shame Rabbit, Collector of All Things Sentimental, Celestial Moon Goddess, Toasted Bagel, Turtle Boy Flores, Lisa's Journey, The Sparkly Experiment, Lily Linguini, Asia Shadow 666, Ivan Campbell Music, Marijuana Barbie, Queen of the Underworld, Wow Stark, Little Miss Confidence, Greenery, Dahlia, Hey, it's me, your favorite chick, Jaded Samia, Kit Kat Trouble, Narcissist, Just Another Dude, Sage and Biscuits, Tiger Princess, Claudia Ramos Design, Princess and the Weed, The Big Friendly Giant, again, he gets 2 shout-outs, Kinky's Delivery Service, Dan Cove, Jojo Kiki's Vlog, Daylo17, Baby EXO, Tiana Taylor, Sadho the Goddess, Pixie Ocean Dust, Baby Lexo, and Jenna Tolls. Oh, Jenna Tolls. I'm not gonna. Okay, we're done. Thank you guys for supporting this podcast. Patreon.com/From Under the Apron Podcast. Get your name shouted out. Show us who you are. Support the podcast. We love y'all. Check out the show notes for a link to other podcasts that you heard on this episode. Send us a message of your favorite wrestling stories, questions, comments, ratings, or requests at our email. It is FromUnderTheApron@gmail.com. Thank you for listening. Join the live. Oh, the live. Yes, thank you for joining the live. We truly thank you all for joining the live and being a huge part of this community. Tell your friends. Join us next time for more behind-the-scenes stories, movies, and TV show reviews when we come to you from Under the Apron. In Soviet Russia, podcast ends you. Ugh. God, that was horrible. I need to work on it.